March meeting of the St. Tammany Parish Board of Adjustment. Thank you for being here. Please silence all your electronic devices, and I'll try to find mine. Any appeals to the decisions of this board should be addressed to the 22nd Judicial Court. Speaker cards are available over here. Don't worry about it. We've got 4 people here. We've got 1 case. I got you covered. Public speaking is allowed to 10 minutes for the people making the case to present their case. We'll have 10 minutes for the opposition. And then after that, each side will have an additional 5 minutes if needed. And then as soon as we're done, we ask you to leave the building, but we're over. When we're done with this one, we're over. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ballantyne?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas? Mr. Daly?
Here.
Mr. Blosh?
Here.
Mr. Swindell?
Here.
Mr. Sanders? Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We have 4 voting members. This is a 5-person board. This afternoon, we only have 4 people here, and 4 votes. 4 votes are unanimous votes are required to pass a petition. So all of us will have to vote unanimously in order to pass this. So if you would like to withdraw your case and bring it up at another meeting, you can do that easily. But if you would like to proceed, we will proceed. I see by a nod of head, and yeah, Mr. Shane is.
We'd like to proceed until we feel there's not a unanimous thing in the room. At least we're honest about it. No, but we'd like to proceed, present the case, and we appreciate that presumably we'll have good discussion, and if it appears that today is not the day to make a decision, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it a little later today.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
We'll do it that way. Okay. The next item on the agenda for the board is the approval of the February minutes. Anyone have any comments or changes to the minutes? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approval of the minutes?
So moved.
A move by Mr. Blosh.
I'll second.
And a second by Sean. Mr. Evans? Okay, we're good to go. The first case.
We need a vote on those minutes.
What do I have to do?
A vote on those minutes.
Oh. I thought we just, please vote with your screen. I'm sorry.
It's on the side. Little
There you
button.
go. Vote down here on the minutes.
If y'all ever need to speak, just hit the request to speak button, and then they'll have to turn on your microphone from the master screen. Just lost track.
How we do?
All in favor, motion carries.
Okay, now we're good. Now, am I good to go on the first case? Okay, our only case for this afternoon is BOA case number 2024-3713. Request by applicant in an 8C3 highway commercial district to reduce the required side yard buffer planting area from 10 feet to 4 feet 6 inches to allow for the addition of an existing patio. The property is located at 206 Lake Drive, Suite 1515, Covington, Louisiana, Ward 3, District 5. The applicant is Rudagore LLC, Barry Spitzer, and represented by Mr. Jeff Shane. Yes, sir. Would you like to add anything to this case?
Would you like to hear the
Oh.
background?
Staff comments, please.
The petition property has an existing patio which currently encroach 1 foot 1 inch into the required 10-foot side yard buffer. The petitioner is seeking a 4 foot 5 inches variance to extend the existing patio into the required buffer, reducing the existing buffer from 8 foot 11 inches to 4 foot 6 inches. The extension of the existing patio will allow for additional outdoor seating for the new restaurant. While no evidence of hardship or practical difficulties have been demonstrated to support the requested variance, additional planting is proposed to be provided. The applicant has proposed a continuation of box bushes and juniper bushes in the parking island around the backflow equipment and within the existing planting beds along the entrance of the site on Lake Drive. Should the board be in favor of the request, it should be subject to the following: apply for the site work permit and meet all required drainage requirements, provide a site and landscape plan showing the species of all bushes to be planted on the site, and also provide 3 additional Class A trees within the rear western existing planting buffer.
Thank you. Now, please state your name and address and your affiliation with this case.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm at P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. I have the pleasure of representing the owner of the property, Ruttigore LLC, spearheaded by Mr. Barry Spicer, who's sitting directly behind me. But I also represent the tenants of this property, being Greg and Tammy Bowie, who are seated to the left of Barry, and seek to locate a business at this premise. So if I could, I'd like to start off and talk a little bit about the business and where it is, because I think it will better put into context the variance that we seek from you. Most of you hopefully are familiar with North Park on the west side of US Highway 190, just north of I-12, a long-standing development, mixture of residential, institutional, commercial, etc. And some of you may have dined at McAllister's through the 10 or so years, I guess, that it was there. McAllister's has been dark for 6 to 12 months, whatever time period that might be. But I'm happy to say that Greg and Tammy Bowie bring to our area the first Toasted Yolk restaurant, which will be at this location. So like most of you, or all of you and me, when I heard Toasted Yolk, what is Toasted Yolk all about? They have, this will be their 3rd franchise location. They're out of Baton Rouge first, but you'll end up with a total of 3. They're going to have 3 franchise locations. There are 39 of those locations in the southerly area, southerly states. And it is a breakfast, brunch, and lunch location, 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, 7 days a week. So it's a little different than what you might typically expect in terms of food and beverage in South Louisiana. What do you mean 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Not 3 o'clock in the morning, but 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But obviously more of an upscale, but really something there for everyone. And in putting together their plan for this particular space, you may remember that McAllister had the benefit of having a covered patio area on the north side of the building, sort of that would be staring at the Zia's building, which is further to the north. That area, at least when I would grab a sandwich at McAllister, was never used much. Maybe used by some. At certain times of the year, we know why people would not be out there having something. But you might imagine that for particularly the morning hours, maybe all times of the year, this could really be a choice spot for someone when they're at the Toasted Yolk. Why am I giving you all this information? Well, in looking at the plan and what was there, it was determined and realized that the current patio only really facilitates a 2-top or 2-seat table. And to really do it right, my client wishes to have 4-top seating. And to have 4-top seating, we needed to expand the patio. We realized that there was enough real estate that Mr. Spicer owned as part of the lease premise to increase the size of the patio. What we did not realize at first was that in doing so, we actually already had some encroachment of the patio into the 10-foot buffer already. That's an existing condition that's grandfathered, that's been there forever. So the request in some respects is pretty simple. We would like to further utilize some of that buffer area to expand the hard surface. We will also have a covering, and we're going to look at some pictures in the packets that I've handed out to you, so that we can have nice outdoor seating, which not only hopefully is good for the restaurant, but I think for most of us believe that to the extent that we allow people to enjoy all the amenities of our area, meaning outdoor seating, if the weather's right, if it's not too hot, not too cold, no mosquitoes, et cetera, we want to encourage those opportunities, and we think this is another reason that this could give this business an opportunity to be successful at this location. I would say that staff has been unusually helpful with this request over the last 2 or 3 months, however long we've been working on it. Ross Liner, the director of the department, made a site visit with me to kind of size things up. Helen has been involved, and Aaron Cook was very involved in looking at kind of where we started and where we are today. I say those things because the plan that we present to you today is the same plan we had initially as it relates to what our needs were. But what we've done is we knew that we wanted to offer something to offset the request for variance, something that might improve the existing conditions and maybe justify considering allowing us to expand this seating area, that if we could produce an amenity that was not only for the benefit of the toasted yolk, but really for the people that are shopping and congregating in that area, it would be a positive. So with that having been said, what I'd like to do is let's take a look at what I've provided you. I guess technically, again, we're already encroaching 1 foot 1 inch into the required 10-foot buffer area. We need another 4 feet and 5 inches of encroachment into the 10-foot buffer area. And then if you will look, I guess, at page 2 of the overview, hopefully you can make some sense of those arrows, but it gives you an idea. The green box is essentially the area between the Zia's building and what we'll call the McAllister or Toasted Yolk building. And that'll really kind of give you some bearing, if you will, as to the boxes that I've given you there. If you'll flip to the next page, you will see what I think is really a handsome rendering of what we hope these 4 tops will look like with the extended canopy once built out. You can see this could really be a very nice dining seating area, whether it's a cup of coffee or a sandwich, soup, whatever, midday. And again, emphasizes the existing patio being at 8 foot 1 and the proposed patio being 4 feet 5 inches further into the 10-foot buffer. If you go to the next page, I kind of love this picture because that's one I asked for from my clients early on. I've looked at the site a couple of times and I wanted to make sure I understood it. So if you look at that page, you will see I guess that's orange or red, that shows you the line sort of in the middle. It shows you that we're 16 feet 6 inches from the wall at that point. I wanted to make sure that we weren't taking out any plants, any trees, anything if we were able to expand the patio. Because there are some nice trees, but as you can see, they all hug the Zia's side. And the drainage is sort of right through the center of this alleyway, if you will. There's a gentle swale, but if you were on ground, you would see the swale, you'd feel it, you'd better understand it. And so that gave us some direction. Notice that you'll see some air conditioning compressors, et cetera, that are exposed to the rear, and you'll see that we've done a little better job than that, because this is, again, a photograph of existing conditions. If you'll go to the next page, the additional beautification is the mitigation that we suggest for this site if we are able to get the variance from you today. It sort of speaks for itself, but it shows you what we're going to do and where we're going to do it. Some of this work, of course, being in the parking area, but some of it including 3 Class A trees to the rear of the property. You'll see where that area is, which I guess is, the name of that is North Park Boulevard. That would be sort of back behind the coffee shop. Staff helped us identify some areas of need, I guess you might say, some things that they thought would make that whole area more presentable, more green, more compatible, and my client was happy to do so. Some of the later requests, including adding those 3 Class A trees to the rear, as you can see. If you'll go to the next page, that shows you the areas that will be addressed with the beautification. That gives you photographs of the now, and you'll see some of the more barren areas that are obviously going to be greened up. And the following page and last page is important as well. showing us the lattice fencing that we propose to put around the backflow equipment, and again showing those 3 Class A trees that we are going to plant behind Starbucks. So we understand that coming to you for a variance is suggestive that we don't meet code, but we also would like to think that the opportunity to get a variance coupled with the assurance that we are going to beautify an existing area and improve it. And I think it's fair to say that the requested variance should not take away in any way from any of the existing conditions. It's not like we're taking out some maples or wax leaf ligustrums, etc. And so we hope that you will consider granting our variance so that the toasted yolk can move forward, hoping to get open maybe for mid-April, May 1. And so today is important to us. That's why we hope we can get some unanimity and not have to think about coming back to you in April. Thank you for the time. If I have a little for rebuttal, we'll maybe not rebut, but if you would like me to answer some questions or get into discussion with you, I'll be glad to do so.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone here in opposition to this case? Seeing none, I will open to the board for questions or comments. Mr. Blash?
Okay, Mr. Shane, thank you very much for the presentation. I do have a question. Looking at the existing condition of the buildings and in between at this point in time where you pointed out the location of the AC systems and such, and as I look at the rendering behind where this patio would be, I see some additional construction there. Have we addressed that as well? And does that also go into the servitude, the side yard servitude? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to make sure I know.
Okay, but that is not what's intended in this example or rendering?
That's correct.
That's okay. So it would just be a flat continuance of the
Yes.
building? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
It is, as soon as I
Mr.
push it, it's
Daly.
active. Okay, thank you, sir. I guess I had more of a question for staff, because we got in the sheet with the additional beautification. Is this adequate for the recommended subject items of providing a site and landscape plan, or would it need to be something more?
We're satisfied with their proposing. Obviously, they will have to submit a landscape plan showing the species of the trees and the species of the shrubs to be planted. But as of right now, this is sufficient to meet the requirements.
Okay, great, thanks.
I would recognize myself, if it please the board, conspicuous by their absence, or is any comment about Zias. What is the opinion of your neighbors?
Mr. Spicer, who also owns the site, he is the landlord to Zia's. Look forward to having the Toasted Yolk as a neighbor. And there are no windows on the south side of the Zia building. And of course, nothing on their side of the property line is being disturbed in any way. Landscaping, drainage, green space. And we believe that they're good to go, meaning that this should be an improvement for them as well.
Please comment parking, drainage, and people throwing egg yolks across that people are entering Zia's.
Good question about parking, though, because it's not a variance issue, but one of the things staff did was they had to work with us to make sure they understood what our parking needs would be and what times of the day we would be parking cars. And I'm happy to say that it worked out to be very compatible with what's already going. Most of us that occasionally go to lunch at Zia's or dinner, pretty congested parking area in front of Zia's, right? Because they do a good job. But we have already gone through the car count exercise and hours of day to make sure that we meet code. And in fact, we have a permit, and the facility is under renovation, refurbishment at present, not as it relates to the patio, I might add. We need a variance to do that. But we think we have all those bases covered, Mr. Valentine.
Thank you. Let me see, anybody else? Seeing none, would someone like to make a motion? Mr. Blash?
Mr. Chairman, in
motion to approve the variance
Yeah.
request?
Yes, it is a motion, but I'm just looking for the case number. Here we go.
2024.
3713. Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve it, the request as submitted.
I have a motion by Mr. Blash to approve the variance request as submitted. Do I have a second?
Do we need to mention
I'll-
staff comments?
Yeah, I'll
Um,
second with a request for a
with
friendly
the,
amendment to add the
noted-
2 stipulations.
Noted that the staff recommendations about the drainage and the plantings would be included in that
So
motion.
I'll amend my motion to that.
And so with that, do I
I'll
have?
second.
I have a second by Mr. Bailey. Any other Mr. Daly? Any other discussion? Seeing none, vote with your device.
Motion carries unanimously. Approved.
Good luck.
Thank you much, and happy birthday.
Were you invited to have a
Okay.
piece of cake?
I might throw a piece of cake at you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We
Yeah.
appreciate your consideration.
Okay, let's move on with our agenda. Any old business? Are we, after I asked Brian, Ms. Swindell, if he got harassed. Ms. Thomas and both got harassed after the last meeting that we didn't have our documents in, and we were going to get promptly thrown off the board. And they had to be in by the council meeting that night, and that I was a no-good son of a whatever, that I didn't get those stuff in on time, and they're going to get rid of me. Yeah, yeah,
Mine are in.
okay. But none of you had a problem? Okay, just me and Miss Thomas. And I didn't know I was delinquent. Okay, so we're all good standing on the board. Okay, any other old business? Seeing none, how about new business? What we got?
4 new cases for next month.
4 cases. And when is that meeting? April? That's right. I'm going the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
April 2nd.
April 2nd, April 2. I'll be here. That's 2 days after Easter. Okay.
Oh, I won't be here.
Ms. Thomas said she would be here. She's apologized for missing. She is quite ill. Okay. Anything else? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.